Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Geek Room Gaming. Today I'm going to introduce you to a game that absolutely broke me on the PS2, and that game is called Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I first played this game around 2004. It was released again in 2018 on a superb remake by the amazing Blue Point Games, which are an amazing company. They remade Demon's Souls lately, and I look forward to their next project. This game itself starts off with your horse, your character, and the princess. Your name is Wanda, your horse is called Agro, and the princess, who is a corpse, is called Mono. And you are traveling in it's the Outer Lands, I think it's called, and you are traveling to the temple. When you reach the temple after a long, slow introduction through this beautiful but bleak place, you then slowly put Mono on top of the altar. Now when you do this, there is another character called Dorman. Now you don't see Dorman, he is just a voice, and he tells you that there are 16 statues in this temple, and if you kill all 16 colossi and break each statue, he can use his sword to resurrect you and the princess. But he warns you then it's gonna come at great cost to yourself. And this is when this amazing game gets started. And for me, it's just so beautifully written and beautifully told. You know that you're on a ride, and this ride's gonna be very emotional. And hey, you have 16 of the best boss fights probably in any video game. There's a few that let it down a little, like in any game, but you know that the challenge is gonna be set ahead, and you set off on your horse Agro to take care of these 16 colossi. What you need to do, basically you have to kill the colossi. Okay, so when the Wanderer comes out of the temple for the first time, you will get shown how to use his magic sword, yes? So you hold up the magic sword, and then the light from the sword will point to where the colossi are, yes? And then you use your horse Agro to convert through the lands and travel, and you see amazing things in this game, but you realise the only other life you really see are the colossi. There is nothing else. There's no enemies to fight, there's nothing small to kill, there's no crafting. It's straight to the boss, and then you get introduced with this magical scene when you first meet the bosses. Every boss has it, and that is what starts you off, and you start realizing how you're going to beat the bosses. So when you come to each colossi, the scene sets, and it's pretty beautiful. You get the colossi, which actually look really cool, and you know they're not a threat to you until you start attacking them. Generally it works out that it's a platform game, so you have to jump on them, hold on to them, and then climb up the platforms, and you can do things that make them stagger, and you have points over the body where you got hit with a sword, and this will bring down the boss bar. But each colossi is an absolutely amazing, beautiful looking creature, and as it goes on, you start to feel a little bit more bad about what you are doing, and it kind of starts putting on the conscious that these are the last of their kind. You are literally making them extinct. And then after you kill the colossi, you've dealt with a very guilt-feeling death scene. Now the death scenes are really, really sad, and it makes you feel a real powerful sense of loss, that we have just lost something that was magical to this world. And that I'm gonna let one of the death scenes play out, bearing in mind every single boss has a death scene. Okay, cool. And then comes the final part, and that's the part on your way to the 16th and final boss. You're going up into the mountains, and you're with Aggro. You've been doing Aggro. He's been guiding you with the sword. You've been doing tricks with him. You've been teaching him. You've been training him. You've been bonding with this horse for over the course of about 5 to 6 hours. If you're speedrunning the game, 12 hours. If you are taking your time and enjoying the atmosphere. And when you're going up the cliff and you're coming up to this part, is one of the parts that really, really hit me in the game. When this actually happened, I actually thought, oh, I made a mistake, so I could go back to a previous save and then continue playing the rest of the part and getting up to the final boss. Guys, this is that scene in that game. Enjoy this moment, and it just breaks you at this point, and you still have the rest of the game to finish. You still have the final boss, you still have the princess to save, and I will come on to that in a second. And then that brings you to the ending. After you kill each boss, you're automatically teleported back to the temple. But this time, Erman and his men, who are the king, has managed to get to the temple. He was going to stop you from killing the colossi, but he didn't get there in time. When you awake, you actually become possessed with what's called the dark spirits. And these possess you, and you make your way towards Erman and his men, who in their time will kill you, okay? And you will die. This will enable you to be possessed by Dormin, and Dormin will possess you, and this is when you realise that the only thing that was ever going to happen in this game was you were releasing Dormin from his hell, from his prison. All the colossi that you have brutally killed were all innocent creatures, but they were the keys to keeping it or him or she held in captivity. And this is how the game plays out at the end. You're dead. Your horse is dead. Mono, she resurrects at the end, and your horse is kind of introduced again, but it kind of like, for me, it implies that this is the afterlife, that no one survived this, and the only thing that happened was you helped the main antagonist escape that we never see, and that is when this game abruptly ends. Okay everyone, and that today is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. It would help me a load if you do this. It's also nice to know that people are watching my channel. I also I love streaming with you guys. Please join me when you see me available. I will always do a YouTube short to promote this. What I want to talk about at the moment is, why do we like video games when they do stuff to us like this? Why is that emotion there? Because for me, a video game is a form of escape. You know, I can be Nathan Drake in Uncharted. You can even be a female Laura Croft. Yes, there are loads of other things. I love playing games like Fallout, Skyrim, Dark Souls. Mainly I'm into fantasy games, but also the military games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, which isn't that great. I believe that we use this as a form of escape. Hell, I was even a hedgehog for quite a while, yes? And this is what I love about video games. They take us from ourselves and put us into someone else's perspective. What I want to ask you now is, what video game character was you first? I tell you now, very first video game that I ever played was a game on the Commodore Plus 4. It was called Fire Ant. So my very first character I ever was a fire ant rescuing the Fire Queen from the hive. Okay, but the very second one that I was a pirate running around on a treasure island. Now what I see is a man slapping himself in the face with his dildo as he run around a Hawaii type island. Anyway guys, whatever you see, let me know in the comments, and whatever character you were first, please let me know in the comments. And once again, have a great weekend or a great Sunday, and I'll see you again in the week, Tuesday and Wednesday live streaming, and then hopefully a video again like this next Sunday. Remember, would you kindly, thank you and goodbye.